And welcome back, everyone, for week 13, lucky week 13 of the 2015 NFL season. I hope it's lucky. Last week we had no luck at all. Lost one game with 2 minutes left. 2 other games on the last play of the game. My goodness. But you know what? That usually evens out. Here are the picks. The first game we're going to look at is a Battle of New York. The Jets go into the Giants. The Giants are 2.5-point dogs at home. It's one of my favorite bets is to take the Giants when you get points. Darrelle Revis might be out in this game. Odell Beckham Jr. should have a big game as the Giants look to bounce back after a tough loss in Washington where everyone loses. The Jets won a nice game, but that was against Miami, who were having trouble beating anybody these days. I think the Giants will win this game outright, and you get the points. So let's take the New York Giants plus 2.5. The second game has Seattle going to Minnesota to take on my Vikings, who are 1-point favorites at home. Seattle, we've talked about this in other shows, very good at home, not so good on the road. My Vikings certainly are. I think we've only lost 5 games at home in the last year and a half. 2 of them to the Packers, one against Detroit and Chicago, a division contest there, and the other one was against the Patriots. I like my Vikings at home a lot. It's a very small price to pay. So let's take Minnesota -1. The third game we're going to look at has Kansas City going to Oakland, where the Raiders are 3-point dogs at home. The Raiders sort of teased us a little while ago. They won back-to-back games about 6 weeks ago, and they won last week, but against the Titans team that doesn't really win very many games. The Kansas City Chiefs, meanwhile, are playing about as good as anybody. They've won 5 straight, and they've gone 5-0 against the spread. They're playing like the Chiefs I thought they were at the beginning of the year. They've outscored their opposition 160-61 in those games. You know, they had some turnover problems early in the year, but they've turned that around. They haven't turned the ball over in 5 games. I like that trend to continue. It's a very small price to pay for a Kansas City team that is really looking to grab a playoff spot. So let's take Kansas City -3. And the fourth game we're going to look at has Carolina going to New Orleans, where the Saints are 7-point dogs at home. Well, the Panthers are the last of the unbeaten teams, and I don't see why they shouldn't continue that. Very good offense, very good defense. The Saints' offense is kind of middling now, and the defense is about as bad as I've ever seen. 7 points is not much to give up here. So let's take Carolina -7. Here are my over-under picks. We're going to go back to that New York game. The number there is 45.5. The Jets, believe it or not, have played 7 of their 10 games over. The Giants should be able to take advantage of Revis not being there with Odell Beckham. I think this is going to be a really high-scoring game. So let's take over the 45.5. The second game we'll look at has Houston going to Buffalo. That number is 41.5. Houston's defense has really come on strong. They're letting off very few points the last 4 games, and their offense isn't that good. Buffalo's defense hasn't played as well as we thought they have. They should have played, but that's a pretty good defense anyways. I think this is a low-scoring game, so let's take under the 41.5. The third game is a game that we looked at earlier, Carolina at New Orleans. The Saints have a good offense, especially at home, and Carolina is putting up really good numbers. So let's take over 49.5. And the fourth game we're going to look at is the Monday Nighter. As Dallas goes to Washington, that number's 42. Washington's defense plays a lot better at home. They average about 11 less points against at home than they do on the road. Dallas has lost Romo now, and I guess Castle will be the quarterback. I doubt he'll get 14 points. This should be another low-scoring game. So let's take under the 42. Here is my Let's Take the Man's Money parlay player. We're going to take 6 games this week. We'll take Kansas City -3. We'll take Carolina -7. We'll take the over 45.5 in the New York game. We'll take over 49.5 in the Carolina-New Orleans game. We'll take the New York Giants on the money line. And just to be greedy, we'll take the Washington Redskins on the money line. A $25 bet will get you $1,140.45. Good luck. Okay, those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. Remember to join me on our Facebook page. You'll find lots of great prognosticators making great videos. And check out gioknows.com for all the best tools to help you be a better prognosticator yourself. Okay, for the GeoKnows YouTube channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.